All right, welcome again. Brian Wilton, live and in concert. Baked fresh every day. Not like you think, though, but it still comes out with a nice rise. Today I want to talk about evil. I don't mean just that regular old kind of evil that make you cheat on a test. I mean that kind of unholy, bad turkey tryptophan kind of evil from a fucked up Thanksgiving with people we don't even like. I want to talk about that kind of nasty evil that make you welch on a bet to your mama or put Des Bryant on your fantasy football league. Ooh, I need to spit that out. Damn, that was big enough to stand up and sash you. I'm going to talk about that kind of evil that causes people to be stupid. And I don't mean just dumb, I mean stupid, spelled Stoopud. Because I think there's a huge world of misinformation between the dumbasses that are still sitting around blaming the Jew. It's the Jews and they run the world. Are you stupid? Show me. Show me on paper where they run it all. Oh, well, they run every major news organization, and so you really think there's a hook-nosed Jew sitting up there saying, well, we're going to do this, and we're going to... People have lost touch with reality. We live in a world that's too big to blame one group of people. Are you kidding me? We can't sit there and put our finger on one thing. Can you tell me what one thing in your life is causing you the most problem? In your life, right now, as you sit, what is it? It ain't a Jew, I can tell you that. Nor is it the Negro, nor the Asian, nor the Native American. What is the one thing in your life that's causing you the most problem? Think real hard. I'm talking about that unwholesome kind of evil. I'm talking about the best thinking you could come up with put you in the situation that you're in right now. The very best thought process you had. Everything you learned, everything that came together, the group of friends you hang around, all of the good things that you thought of. I think I'll do this and I think I'll do that. And if it's going good for you, good. Keep it up because you're on the right path. If you're still sitting around there and you're not happy unless you have something to bitch about or somebody to point a finger at, and your bills ain't paid, and things ain't quite going right, and you're alone, and there's ugly talk going around, and you're surrounded by people that, well, if they ain't happy, if they ain't bitching either, how far you think you're going to get in life? How far you think you're going to get with that nonsense? You think you're going to undo 75 years of media programming? You think you're making a stand for the white race? How about clean yourself up, go get a decent job, put a little money in the bank, and start looking like a legitimate individual and making some intelligent decisions? Why is that so hard to grasp? What is the difficulty in understanding that simple concept of grow the fuck up? I don't get it. Got on Instagram today and saw all kinds of stuff about this nonsense. Yes, the world is falling apart. You're absolutely right. It is coming apart at the damn seams. What are you going to do about it? You going to stand there and point a finger at who you think is taking care of it? Or are you going to get your ducks in a row so you might survive whatever's coming down the pike? Because one of those things is going to be a hell of a lot more productive than the other. I don't want to sit here and talk about if you're an alpha or an omega or a beta or whatever. Grow up. Become what you're supposed to become. Quit sitting there looking for somebody to blame because the best thinking you could come up with left you as a shit bird in a society that allows anyone that wants to build as much wealth as they want to in the freest society in the world. Oh, the pandemic's going to shut us down. People are making a fortune delivering food because nobody wants to go shopping. New industries are rising up right now in the midst of this nonsense. We got to figure it out because it's all shifting. We're going to grab a hold of American ingenuity and pragmatism? Or are we going to sit here and try to misinterpret some of the things that what everybody calls Uncle Adolf said? See, when you're in a country where the resources begin to dry up and opportunity begins to ceases to exist, well, you need somebody to blame, don't you? And so he created the idea and sold it effectively that here was a culture within a culture, not congruent with the abilities to help everyone move along. And look what he did with it. He lost the last war. He lost the last big war. So, there's that. Now, I don't care how you think it needs to be written. It wears me out, guys. I talk about this stuff every day, about standing up and becoming something bigger, something better. You can't do that if you're consistently focused on what you think the dragons are out there. If you haven't begun to even take a cursory glance at the dragons inside you. Your laziness, your inability to have any kind of discipline, your inability to have any kind of courage, your inability to step up to the plate with regards to even your children. How many children we know their dads just kind of run off? Can't handle it. Between 17 and 30 million children in the United States are growing up in a single-parent home because the dads decided to, well, they're in jail, or their best thinking led them to some other kind of nonsense that doesn't include knowing what that child's favorite color is, what monster it's most afraid of, what it wants to be when it grows up, what he or she loves. Can they catch a ball? Can they run fast? Do those shoes make them run faster? Who's their friends in school? What do they dream about being? Mamas can't tell you that. They can tell you who the principal is, who the teacher is, what the grades are, what they had for breakfast, how they got up, did they get dressed, have they had a bath. It takes both of them. And we're sitting here with the world coming apart at the seams, pointing at somebody else as if they're the problem, when we need to be taking a good, strong, hard look at ourselves. Am I doing the right thing with regards to the children in my life? Because the bottom line of it is, no matter how you count it, you're all they have. You are all they have. And every single mother that's out there right now trying to raise that child, trying to do her best to be mama and daddy and take care of them, the next time I see some jackass talk about, well, you're a single mother and you're really not worth my time, I'm an alpha male and I've been rich, I will pay a homosexual man $100 to slap that motherfucker in the face and then tell me about how alpha he is. Just how it goes. Because they're doing a job most of these men who think they're call themselves men can't seem to figure out. Sometimes we got to stop all the nonsense and the educated book smarts and what we think we know and bottom line this shit for people, because there's some tough times coming. You want to go down swinging against an imaginary foe? Or do you want to stand up like the man you can be and live up to a standard? Everybody wants to find something to bitch about. Everybody got something they want to complain about. Everybody's got, well, I know this, and I understand the pattern of a woman's life, and this is where she is, and if I can deal with this here, the avoidance of emotional pain is not courageous. It's cowardice of the highest order. We live in such a free society that the poorest people among us are fat. Think about that. Everybody has a phone. Most of them are free. Everybody has access to tobacco and drugs, however, whatever they want. Most people have a car and can drive around town and do the very bare minimum to get by and consider themselves successful. And yet we can't for an instance look our children squarely in the eye and say, I'm doing all I can, with any kind of honesty. Some people can. There's a lot of very wealthy individuals that probably could, but I promise you they're gone more than they are present in their children's life. Shouldn't we be taking a good long look at that as the kind of thing that promotes the future of the people we want to be? Shouldn't we be taking a good long hard look at how we are taking care of our children to promote the future we want for our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren and their grandchildren? Might that not be a better expenditure of energy than making stupid-ass fucking memes about the Jew? What a pussy. And I don't care if any of you like it or not. And I've heard it many times. Brian's going to alienate his base. Really? I've been saying that for a decade, and I'm still out here kicking ass and taking names. So any of y'all that listen to this and it pissed you off so bad you need to hate me, good. Maybe you'll grow up. Come sit down and talk with me about it. If we need to tussle, we'll go right up here to the studio. We'll tussle all you want. And then we'll talk about it. Just how it goes, guys. Somebody's got to get it through everybody's head that all of this talk about being a masculine and masculinity and the future of it's okay to be white and all that other stuff, it isn't about how many women you can hustle. It's about whether or not you're doing your job as a man with regards to your children. And if you happen to come across a woman that's got some children, you can worry about whether or not some dickhead driving a funny car wants to call you a cuck, or you can look at it as an opportunity to do a little bit better. I adopted a girl when I was younger. Best thing I ever did in my life. She's a champion. You can't stop her. Yep, I had a hand in that. I had a hand in building the future of a young woman that most people can't keep up with. Yeah, I feel good about it. So, let's take a good long look at what it means to be a man. If you've got a child, you going to sit around and complain about somebody over there you can't do a shitting thing about? Or are you going to step up to the plate with regards to the children in your life? They may not all be yours. Do the right thing, take care of them anyway. Because they have a future too. They have a part in what it means to build a future for all of us. Every little child. If you ain't got what it takes to stand up and measure up to the plate, just get the fuck out of the way, because there's other men that get out of the way so she can see the men standing behind you. Huh? Stand there talking about hating this and hating that. You ain't even conquered the dragons in your own heart. Don't talk to me about what you think it means to be a man. I don't want to hear it.